It was homework for Renie Lee to go and see Watch on the Rhine at the Martin Beck Theater. Lieutenant Jack Janowitz hadn't seen it and was about to ship out, so what the hell? Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Irene pulled some strings and got 2 tickets for the matinee. Afterward, on a beautiful autumn Sunday afternoon, she and Jack walked along 7th Avenue to Sardi's on 44th for an early supper. Lately, Irene had been spending a lot of time thinking about war. She wondered what New York City would be like if German bombers appeared in the sky as they had over Rotterdam. She imagined German troops in the streets fighting building to building. Of course, there wasn't a war, and maybe there wouldn't be a war. But Europe was conquered, and much of the Far East, and there were German U-boats right out there in the Atlantic, so nobody knew what was next. And all this flashed through her mind as she walked along 7th Avenue beside the Navy man before they reached the restaurant. Irene didn't want to hit Jack's wallet too hard, so she ordered filet of sole Florentine at $1.25 and onion soup at 40 cents, and he had the chicken chow mein. As they waited for their food, neither found much to talk about on a first and inevitably last date. "Gladys says you're leaving soon?" said Irene. "Shipping out tomorrow," said Jack. He wasn't what you'd call handsome, and the crew cut gave him a teddy bear sort of a look, but the uniform certainly didn't hurt. "Shipping out for where?" He pulled a paper from his jacket pocket, unfolded it, and read, "Casco Bay, Maine, the USS Truxton." "Pardon me," she said, "but the only thing I know about the Navy is what I learned from movie scripts. Is this Truxton an aircraft carrier? That's a reference to Dive Bomber with Errol Flynn, by the way." "I saw Dive Bomber," said Jack, "and I wish the Truxton was a carrier. She's an old tin can from the last war. That's a reference to a destroyer, so we'll be out there escorting convoys. I can't say I have a good feeling about it." "You mean because of the ship that got sunk by the U-boat? Was it yesterday?" asked Irene. She had seen the headline in the New York Times. He nodded. "The Reuben James. I can't stop thinking about her. I went through the academy with one of the guys on the James, Pete Proton, and from what I hear, the torpedo hit the forward magazine. She had depth charges strapped on the deck, and they snapped loose as the ship went down and exploded in the water. I mean, what chance does a guy have in that?" Irene couldn't begin to imagine. In fact, it took a moment of silence to comprehend what he had just said. "So, no word about your friend?" "No word about anybody," said Jack. "There were some survivors, is all I know. 40, maybe. But a destroyer carries 150.